Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axel jam si Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do de. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Bisul mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
It's 16 minutes past 8 o'clock in the morning here in the Gambia. It's Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025, and live on West Coast Radio, 92.1 on FM. This is Coffee Time with me, Peter Gomez. We're also on YouTube, courtesy of Jar Oil and Wave. Now, it's not often that fundraising makes it even onto the program, let alone top the bill. But that is the case this morning because the National People's Party of President Barrow, the NPP, had a big and by all accounts very successful fundraising event last Saturday led by the president himself. And in superlative language, similar to the Jammeh era, the NPP has since issued a statement claiming it was the biggest fundraising activity ever in the history of this nation. Well, we can find out all about the night from Sulayman, Camara, an advisor to the president. Sulayman, welcome to Coffee Time in the flesh for the first time.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thanks for having me, and good morning to your esteemed listeners.
Fantastic. Remind us again, you're advisor on what?
On cybersecurity matters.
On cybersecurity. Yeah. But you're also part of the communication team of the...
Exactly. I'm the NPP Media and Communication Secretary.
Ah, so you're the boss?
Yes.
So we have the boss here.
Exactly.
Okay. Tell us about this fundraising event.
Well, Peter, the fundraising gala dinner is indeed a resounding success, and that is manifested by the massive turnout of our party sympathizers and supporters. And it's also a clear statement in the growing confidence that people have in the transformative agenda of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of this nation, President Barrow.
Yes. This was your first fundraiser?
That's not at all. We have one last year, but that is organized by the diaspora. But for the party, I think this is the first time.
Oh, okay, because
yes.
It says, I'm just reading your press release,
yes.
Attendance at the party's first ever fundraising gala dinner, or maybe gala dinner.
Gala dinner.
As a fundraiser, the first ever gala dinner.
Last one was organized purely by the diasporans.
Okay.
They came back here.
But it wasn't a gala dinner. Was it a gala dinner?
It was.
It was also a gala dinner.
Exactly.
So maybe first ever gala dinner is not correct. Yeah. And how did you market the gala dinner?
The gala dinner,
because some of us never heard about,
Well, it was on the social media. We also reach out to our party donors, our sympathizers, grassroots. It was all over social media, Peter, and it was successful. And
of course it was. Nobody's doubting the success.
One thing I want to tell people is that it's not only a financial boost for the party, but it's also a clear indication of the oneness and unity of purpose, within our party ranks. It's a clear indication.
Okay.
Yes.
Why is that message important?
It's quite important, as we are heading towards.
Do you feel that the other parties don't have that kind of unity of purpose?
No, not at all. At the moment, we have one leader. We have a flag bearer who everybody knows, His Excellency, President of the Republic of this nation, President Barrow. Come 2026 is our flag bearer. There is no division within our party. There is sense of purpose, unity, and oneness. Peter, I can safely tell you that.
Sulayman, it looks like you're really here for a conversation.
Yes.
For all I know,
yes,
or maybe I should say, I think,
yes,
the UDP has one leader and one flag bearer. Lawyer Usainu Dabo.
Well, they can say that, Peter, but we know the factions, that are out there fighting each other. I mean, I'm quite, active on the social media circles, and I know what is actually happening out there, and these are open secrets, the daggers are out, we know about these things, But in our party, there's unity.
Daggers are out in the UDP.
Exactly, of course.
Everybody is going
that's an open secret, Peter. We know about these things.
Okay. What about the GDC? I mean, they have one leader, Mama Kande, and I suppose he's the flag bearer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a flag bearer, but the main opposition party in this country, obviously, is the United Democratic Party.
So for the NPP, the others don't matter.
They matters, of course. Politics is about numbers, Peter. Politics is about numbers, So obviously, they do matter. They matter quite a lot.
So UDP scares NPP more than the other parties?
Not actually. I can say they are our biggest adversaries in terms of politics, and what I can tell our listeners is that this fundraising gala dinner is a clear indication of unity in our party. There is no division within our party. There'll be hearsays here and there, grapevines. We shouldn't. We are. That's not going to get us distracted. Our eye is on the ball. That ball is going to take us to the promised land, which is 2026 presidential election. And come 2026 presidential election, NPP shall prevail, Peter.
And if you're on social media, of course, you will have seen either written or actually being said somewhere on social media that the president should not stand in 2026. How do you respond to such calls?
Well, that's democracy, Peter. You know that the constitution of this country, the supreme law of our land, does not bar the president from standing as a presidential candidate.
That is very true.
So, very true. Peter, sometimes I don't want to waste my time on that, obviously. Our president still have more to offer. He still has more to offer. Look at the transformative agendas, he's doing across the country. It's the same that, like Lyndon B. Johnson in the United States of America once said, he's waging war on poverty. President Barrow is also waging war on hunger through his rice and food self-sufficiency in this country. So we have a plan for this country.
Why are you avoiding the poverty? Okay, Gambians are not hungry. That's a fact.
Exactly.
We may be as poor, but poverty is a problem.
It's a problem.
And the last, UN report suggested that poverty was on the rise. By the way, this was what brought my fight with Lamin Queen Jammeh. I hope bringing up poverty will not result in you and me fighting.
Not at all, Uncle. Uncle, let me tell you, if you hunger, for example, rice is the staple food of our country. If at all, we got rice in abundance in this country, your revenue, your spending revenue, you'll have a lot of spending revenue left in our pocket. 70% of people's income, or 80% goes on food. So obviously, if at all, what the president is doing, across the country, like CRR South, CRR North, with these projects, that are coming with the Koreans, with Gala oil, Gala oil. Yeah. If those things goes through, Peter, obviously, it's also something geared towards elevating poverty within the country.
Yeah, but for now, it's a big if, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
It is. But we are doing quite well, Peter, in that aspect.
But if the president is a leader, the sort of leader you people present him as, he should be able to mentor somebody to take over from him. Since we are told in a press release released by Sidin Jai that the president's wish is for the NPP to rule this country for centuries. So he should be able to mentor somebody to continue his transformative agenda, as you call it.
Peter, I will not call it mentoring. NPP have a large pool of talented individuals who can man
so
this
Barrow
country.
Can stand aside and then hand over to any one of those, many people who are capable.
When the time comes, President Barrow always keep on hammering this drum, saying that the reason he's building bureaus across the country is because NPP is here to stay. That is why next week, Saturday, we are inaugurating our NPP party headquarters at Bundunga Kunda on Bundung Highway, just after Guarantee Trust Bank.
Why did he not put the headquarters in Mankamankunda? That would have been a better location for it. He's not from Bundung. He may have lived in Bundung.
In terms of accessibility, so I think Bundung is a good location within the community. You see, NPP is all about grassroots. We don't go to the OIC highway, we went within our grassroots, So it's a clear manifestation that NPP is a party of the people.
Okay, I'll be taking this up with the minister later on, Barrow's focus on infrastructure, but I'm sure you've seen criticism, countless criticism of his focus on infrastructure, probably because people say, well, it's very easy to say I'm going to put up, an 80-kilometer road. Who measures to ascertain that it's 80 kilometers? It could be 60. It looks long. People will just assume that it's 80. And then you save on, the 20 kilometers that's not been constructed. In other words, the focus on infrastructure is because it's easy to conceal money that has not been used, in that sector.
I don't think, His Excellency President will do that, He's quite a very transparent individual, and he believes in the democratic tenets. And I also don't think that the Honorable Minister of Infrastructure will come and tell the people of this nation that we are actually constructing 86-kilometer road when in fact it's 50 kilometers or 60 kilometers. I don't, to be honest. These are people with impeccable characters. To be honest. So I don't think so.
And who do you hold responsible for peddling, these untruths, if you take them to be untruths?
Peter, you are a media personality, a big one indeed.
Yes, but
you have what we call misinformation and disinformation.
I'm talking to a politician.
Exactly.
Politicians are more daring than journalists.
Exactly. So, but you have what we call misinformation and disinformation. Look at the social media. Look at the advent of this AI. A whole sort of things. So, in this digital era of digitization, we'll have a lot of problems. People peddling misinformation, trying to deceive people. That is why you've seen other media outlets, CNN, France 24, having people, who are AI specialists. They'll be able to figure out whether this is fake or this is actually deep fake or maybe it's something authentic. So obviously we have to live with that. But
does it worry you, therefore, that usually when the media tends to report on the Gambia, it's negative? They talk about, the corruption of the government, the rising cost of living, which can't be contested. We are all feeling the pinch of, having to pay more for things on a daily basis. Does it worry you that what you call misinformation probably is shaping, the view of the international community on the Gambia?
Well, if you go to Google, say for example, you type Gambia, you see whole sort of stories. Yes. Some positive, some negative.
But the majority
exactly.
Negative.
But what I'm saying is we have a lot of our development partners. They are representatives in the country. They know what is actually happening in this country. We have a fertile line for democracy. Democracy is not stifled in this country. Press freedom is an abundance. So obviously, I think as I said, with the digitalization, these are all the negative impacts, that is going to have on people. But the honors, like with the politicians or the ministers, to come out, every now and then and address the public. And separate the wheat from the chaff. I think that's the only solution to these things.
Okay.
We cannot say that don't mind them. We can't do that. We've seen politicians who are peddling, I think, unbelievable stories about certain things. But some people tend to believe in them. So we have a lot of work to do, especially those of us who are in the media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the fundraiser. I mean, what does the NPP need money for? You have ministers, you have a president. I want to believe even the vice president is NPP now, isn't he?
Of course, he is, Peter.
So they are rich, they could just dip in their pockets and give you money.
No, Peter, we are living in a democracy, and you know that, political financing is very healthy for democracy. We need to have this kind of event to be able to finance our own parties. We have to believe in our grassroots. We have to tap into the business communities, who believe in our agendas, and stuff like that, ask for donations, So for ministers, we all know ministers are not rich, obviously.
Oh, they are.
You know about that, not Peter.
They are.
With the amount of responsibilities they have in the Gambian context.
They don't have any more responsibility than I do, and they earn way more than I can ever dream of earning from this job.
But considering in the sub-region, I think our ministers are the lowest paid in the sub-region. Well, they are. Well, they are, Peter. Even our parliamentarians are the least paid in the sub-region.
Well, look at the economies. Are they the same?
They are not the same, but that is why, obviously.
Yeah. If they are bigger economies, they have to pay more.
But places like Guinea-Bissau, do you think that our economy is bigger than, or Guinea-Bissau's economy is bigger than ours?
You want the Gambia to get to the level of Guinea-Bissau?
No.
Yeah.
I don't mean that. What I mean
that's
is
why
that
Guinea-Bissau is where it is today.
No, what I mean is that overall, the wage structure of our ministers compared to our partners in the sub-region.
No, if you ask me, ministers should be earning less because of the economy. And because Guinea-Bissau are paying their ministers more than we are paying our ministers, and our economy is better than theirs, that's why they're having more development problems than we are having.
Yeah, but Peter, I don't think they are rich. Obviously, I think that's just a myth.
They are
people
not
believe
rich.
that no, they are not. People believe that ministers are rich. They are not, Peter. You know about this country.
No, we are saying
if you're a minister, your responsibilities and stuff like that.
What they are being paid is insanely high. That's what we are saying. Whether they are rich or not, it depends on the kind of lifestyles they live.
Well, Uncle, that's your opinion.
Yes.
But my belief is,
my
I think ministers are not that paid, that much.
Okay. What about advisors? I hear you are even richer.
No, I'm a honorary advisor. I'm not paid, Yeah, I'm not paid. I run a business,
So what? I was going to say, what puts food on the table?
Yes, I run a business. I have an IT institute. I also do consultancy services.
You see, you're a rich man.
No.
You're even smelling rich. Okay, what about the diaspora input in Saturday's event?
It was wonderful, to be honest. We are quite grateful to our diaspora, and they contribute massively. I think they bought about 6 platinum tables.
And how much did a platinum table cost?
$250,000.
Oh, wow. I don't think anybody has ever sold a
exactly.
table that high in this country.
That's massive.
Honest me, every 4 tables, $1 million.
$1 million,
up
Peter.
front.
Exactly.
You people must have made $1 billion plus.
We made a lot of millions, Peter.
$1 billion plus. I'm saying
not billion, but a lot of millions, Peter.
Axel jam si Wave.
Yow Ablaye, yow lu tax doo dee dégg lu tax mënuloo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello? Kan ma lay waxal?
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine. Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. Ak Wave. Bisul mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Well, fantastic. And is this something you plan to be doing annually now?
Yes, we want to do it at least every year once, and we are also planning to go to the diaspora, not only for fundraising, but to sell our party agenda. We'll be hitting the road quite soon to Spain.
What is your party agenda? To be in power for the next century or more?
No. To tell people that NPP indeed got a plan for the people of this country. We are going to we'll be selling that agenda, and along with that, we'll also be raising funds, from our diaspora, Spain, France, Sweden, and United States of America.
People are criticizing the involvement of the GRA, Gambia Revenue Authority, and other, institutions, MDAs.
No, managing directors, so they come there as individuals, not as departments. They come there as individuals, so obviously, they, I don't think, I haven't seen a table that is Magiare. I can't remember that,
There were no state institutions there?
I can't remember. No. I know businesses, but I don't remember seeing
only
any
businesses.
State institution. Exactly,
Okay.
Yes. I've seen, yes.
And what about GRTS reportedly broadcasting the whole event live?
Well, yes, GRTS reported live, but even if GRTS hasn't reported, NPP now got the capability to go live.
Should they have? I mean, it's a public institution that belongs to everybody. If UDP were to, organize a gala dinner, would you advise GRTS to go and cover?
But normally GRTS cover a lot of programs, even opposition
The
programs
question
across
is,
the country.
The question is, if the UDP were to organize a gala dinner,
Yes.
would you advise GRTS to go and spend as many hours also covering their event?
Peter, I think that's left with the managing director of GRTS, It's director general, should I say. I won't have any input on that, Probably the best person to answer that question is the Minister of Information.
But would you be disappointed if you were to, turn on your television to maybe watch, a favorite program on GRTS and all you see is...
Not at all.
Hussein Udabo, Lamin Mane, Larry Sisi, Talib Bensouda, Rohim Malik Low, and others?
Not at all, I don't want to be part of the people who want to deny opposition access to media. I don't want to do that, We have to protect our democracy.
Fantastic.
I'm not going to be part of that.
So, Abdullah C, we hope that, you will be thinking like Sulayman Camara, that the radio station, television station, is a public broadcaster. It should cover everybody. So they've set a precedent. Hopefully, GDC will have a fundraiser tomorrow and they'll cover it live.
Peter, to be fair to them, even during the campaign period, these GRTS, cover all programs. They cover all political rallies.
That's an imposition. That's an imposition of the electoral law. That's an imposition of the IEC.
Yes.
All right. That is there, whether NPP likes it or not, whether the president likes it or not. That will happen when we get to that time in 2026.
Exactly. I also believe that the Director General of GRTS is a forward-thinking individual, and obviously he's very fair-minded. I have no doubt that
I am hoping
he's not going to be stifling.
I am hoping he
opposition,
is what you tell me he is.
He is.
Because we had a Director General who said the broadcaster is not to cover opposition events anymore.
But Peter,
it was even in black and white. It's late. We cannot go, delve, deep into it.
Peter, let me also mention a distinction here. Wherever president goes, I think it's fair for our state broadcasters to be there, including all the media houses.
In this case, they should have been there only for his speech. They should have been there only for his speech, not before and not after. Yeah, what the president says, whether at a political rally or whatever, always matters. Always matters. But only what they say.
Peter, but don't you think that that's going to be petty? You just here, you mount your cameras, you're only waiting for the president to speak after you switch off your cameras. I don't think so, Peter. No, I think wherever president goes, to be honest, wherever the president goes, the media should be there, including West Coast. Are you there, Peter?
Where?
At the fundraising gala dinner.
I wasn't there.
Oh.
Did you invite me?
I'll invite you next time.
NPP never invite me to anything.
Are you sure, Peter?
NPP.
Peter, I'm always a regular guest in your program.
I invite you to my program.
And in fact,
what you are confirming is...
In fact, I have a great regard for you, Peter. You call me, I'll cancel lectures, and be on the interview,
No, that
Peter.
is true. Whenever I've asked you for an interview, you've given it. All right, that is true.
Yeah.
Good morning, Peter, and your guest. Political financing is often kept from public view. Could the honorable advisor to the president disclose the total amount raised? Is this something you can disclose now?
I'll tell the individual that still we are putting, we are casing some people who are supposed to donate. We don't put the accounts together, but I can tell you that we've raised quite a few millions. I can tell the listener that we've raised quite a few millions.
Somebody wants me to ask you about the state of construction of the Tangi Road, but I won't ask you because Silla is coming. Yes, that is Silla's problem. That's not your problem.
Yes.
Your advisor on cybersecurity. What's the cybersecurity situation of the country? I mean, do we face threats, and if yes, from who?
We call it vulnerabilities. Yes. Every country faces vulnerabilities because cyber criminals are always 3 steps or 2 steps ahead of the police or the law enforcement. We call what we call the cybersecurity code what we call the cybersecurity trade. That's confidentiality, integrity, availability. These 3 are the tenets of cybersecurity. What does it mean? Say, for example, you got servers here, for example, that you got your data in. If a hacker can send what we call DOS attack, that's the denial of service attack, like what we call ping attack. How do I explain that? Ping is to send a request to your server, a million of requests. Eventually, your server will crash because there's not enough CPU to take care of those things. At that juncture, a server incident should be raised because people cannot get access to those servers. And that's what we call integrity. Obviously, your data. If I send you an information, an email, it should arrive at you without being changed, without being tampered. That's if that is done in any form of communication, cyber security incidents should be logged, and that's what we call integrity, availability, and confidentiality. Confidentiality of a data means your data needs to be protected. We have certain scenarios whereby people's data have been manipulated. Say, for example, I think there was an attack at central banks before where zero is being added to people's accounts and stuff like that. But overall, cybersecurity is next to natural disasters. We have nuclear weapons online, and we also have AI that is even making it more how do I call it? Critical.
It's making us more vulnerable.
Exactly, more vulnerable, because
dear.
we are saying what we call artificial intelligence, AI. People are going into what we call, artificial deep intelligence, whereby machines will be able to manipulate things and stuff like that, So obviously, every country is vulnerable. Gambia, at the moment, digitization is going on. A lot of people have their servers, everything is online. People are getting hacked on WhatsApp, So we need what we call a lot of cybersecurity awareness training in institutions like you. Or people like you should enroll on those courses. The reason being, hackers are not interested in people like, people who are not very significant in the society, should I put it that way. But Peter probably will have a lot of confidential information, So those are quite important. And we have a lot of...
Maybe somebody has hacked my phone.
Exactly.
Because sometimes this phone, I try to put it on, it doesn't come on at all. Martin knows the trouble I have with this phone.
Exactly. And what cybersecurity too, you have it's not only limited to people. States too, they do hacking. They hack each other. They call it APT, advanced persistent threats. Companies, big countries, advanced countries, they do that, to steal confidential information, technology, finance, from each other. But we have different type of hackers. You have what we call white hat hackers, gray hats, and the black hats. White hats are what we call ethical hacking. You have a company, you said, Sulayman, you are a penetrative, you are a pen tester that come and see how robust my network is. I'll try and find vulnerabilities, on the network. I am a white hat. But you also have what we call gray hats. Gray hats are what we call hacktivists. People will say like Anonymous, they will say, okay, what is going in Palestine is not fair, blah, blah, blah. They'll be hacking into the infrastructure of countries like Israel and their supporters or whatever it might be. And you also have what we call black hat hackers. These are hackers, that actually hack people to steal money, to do damage, and stuff like that, So it's a very interesting subject, and I think, each and everybody in this country, departments, people in positions, should all do what we call cyber security awareness training. It's quite important. Fantastic. I offer it, Peter.
Yeah. You see, I was going to say you're using the platform to market yourself.
Yeah.
I'll be coming and I will enroll free of charge. Because
of course, I'll do that. And I promise you, Peter, I'll do that for you.
Denial of service hacking.
Yes.
I mean, it happened recently in the UK. Marks and Spencer, this big, supermarket chain.
Yes. Yeah, it's a traditional supermarket in the UK, Marks and Spencer. It's very traditional. Yeah. It's an English brand, Yes,
people, could not access, the service.
Online shoppings and stuff like that. Yes,
exactly.
It caused significant.
If that
damage.
were to happen in this country, how? Okay, we knew how it affected the central bank.
Yes.
It led to people becoming zillionaires overnight.
Exactly.
Even though I was told that was reversed before the payments were, were made.
Yeah.
So if that were to happen here, how would it impact us?
One of the things is that, say for example, places like here, you got servers. We need what we call, you have to have back-off service and what we call recovery services.
Yeah, we're online. If somebody, goes in there and tampers with our server, not only are we not online, but all the data stored there could be...
Exactly. That's why you need to back up your data. You need to have what we call recovery. How do you recover when there's a cyber incident? Those are very, very critical, to be honest. That is why people have to invest in cloud. If you have your data stored in your mobile, on USB, or on hard disk there, they are not safe anything could happen. We can use the cloud services are there. Some of them are free. Microsoft is offering some cloud services that are free. Dropbox, you name it. There's a whole lot in the markets. So let's try and have back up our data. It's quite important. And also, there's one thing that is happening in this country. People think that things are free. They will say WhatsApp is free, Facebook is free. No, it's not.
Are they not?
They are not.
Oh.
Let me tell you one thing, Peter. Any technological product that you are using and you are not paying for it, you yourself are the product. Yes, you are the product. Why do you think that Facebook is running, having a lot of servers across the globe? Why?
How do they make money out of this?
Exactly,
the people
through advertisement, through your data. Because, when you subscribe to Facebook, you put your information, your email address, your telephone number, whatever it might be, where you live and stuff like that, So they use those big organizations like United Nations, even America, would want to know how many people in the Gambia between the age of 18 to 16 are there in the Gambia, between those kind of things. They need those data, Data is a gold mine, Peter. It's one of the most expensive commodity you can ever have in IT. So let us not think that, these things are free. They are not. Instagram, TikTok, they are not free. We are the product ourselves. We are the products. And that's important. And that's why here you'll see people, they'll send you a link, they'll say, this is a high ticket lottery or something, click on it. Do not click on links. Those are important. Hackers cannot just jump into your phone. They can't. They need to devise a mechanism to get into your phones. They send you a ransomware. They send you some links, you click on, that will enable them to have access to your phones or to your devices, Do not click on those links, Do not, this is quite important, So a lot of people are also being blackmailed on social media. I think this is a very terrible thing, and it's going on the country a lot. A lot of people will confide. People like Sulayman Camara is a cybersecurity advisor to the president. Let me call him, And some of these things are in position of power. Let us stop sending, nude photos of ourselves, no matter who it is, You never know. Your phone could get lost. You can mistakenly send those kind of, items or pictures or videos, to forums, You never know. So let us be very, very careful, Yeah.
Do not click.
Yeah.
Do not click on links.
Exactly.
That's the advice from
exactly.
Sulayman Camara.
And there's no product that is free in IT. No, in technology. All these platforms, none of them is free. We are the product.
There's no product that is free.
Yes.
We are the product.
Yes.
Talk to me about Starlink, because there's a lot of talk about Starlink and, the Gambia's involvement with Starlink. That is this Elon Musk thing.
Actually, I don't know a lot about this Starlink, to be honest, Peter. No, I don't, to be honest, I know Elon Musk, I follow him a lot, I'm fascinated by what he did, what he was doing. And because when he started, people thought that these are impossible. And I encourage people, when I saw him, astronauts, going into space and stuff like that, I was thinking, all of us should be like, let's be forward thinking. Let's study technology. Are you
forward thinking? And in the area of technology, what are you working on that will be of immense benefit to the Gambia, apart from just teaching,
yes,
lay people like Peter Gomez about IT?
Peter, I have a lot of youths, that I mentor at my institute. What I told them, I say, you see, IT is all about interest. You understand? When I was living in Gambia, I do not have any background in IT. In fact, Peter, you'll be surprised. I study banking, and Peter, I'm a chartered banker.
Are you?
Yes.
What are you
I studied a certificate from the Chartered Institute of Bankers in the United Kingdom. You understand? But all of a sudden, I came 360 degrees. I study IT. I start at a foundation. I don't know what programming. I don't know what is Pascal, what is C++. I don't know anything of those things. But I feel fascinated by technology. Technology, if you have interest in technology, you can do it, And it can create a lot of employment opportunities. Let me tell children of this country. I work for British Airways. I work for a lot of big banks in the United Kingdom. I meet people from Nigeria, Ghana, Asian countries, India, Pakistan, and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll talk to them and say, how do you come here? They'll say, oh, I'm a CCNA, the Cisco Certified Network Associate. Some people will tell me I'm CCNP. These are courses we can do in this country. Advanced countries need those skills. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to go through the back way to go to these countries. We can study here and have those kind of jobs out there. Technology is the future. Let no one, there's no doubt about that, Everything is moving digital. You understand? So I used to mentor my student about these things. Let us study, let us develop application, let us do IT. We can employ ourselves. Look, even people who are active on TikTok, they are making money. You understand? Mm-hmm. Content creators, they pay boosters, and all of a sudden you have all these people following you. That brought us back to what I say when I say technology is not free. Why do you think that some people's video go viral? It's not normal. You have to pay Facebook if you want that. You pay for those adverts.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you pay for bots. Before, people can create bots, but now you have to go to Facebook, tell them that, I want this program to go to the profile of all the people in the Gambia between the age of 18 to 65, 300,000 people. They'll do it for you if you pay the money.
Ah.
Yes.
Nothing comes free.
Nothing comes free in technology, Peter.
So don't be fooled by those numbers.
No, not at all. Not at all, Peter. Don't fool. You see people, they followership 1 million, 2 million or something. Some people, they pay for boosters, they pay for bots, they pay for those social media providers, platform providers.
We are new in this business, so we don't know all those tricks.
Peter, my doors are open. I'll advise you anytime you want.
The figures you see for us as viewership, those are real. We are
of course.
We are not paying anybody.
I know.
If it says 5, it's material 5.
Exactly.
Real 5.
No problem.
I'm going to be talking infrastructure very shortly with, your NPP colleague and Minister Ibrahim Silla. What about the digital infrastructure of this country? There was a time when I think they were trying to run the fiber optic cable from Banjul right across the country to, the most remote part. The digital infrastructure. Are you satisfied with it, or does it leave much to be desired still?
I think I don't have a lot of information on that, but what I can tell you that Tunkara is doing a lot at Gamtel, trying to roll out fiber from the length and from here all the way to the provinces. So
apparently, if there's any progress on that, it has been very, very slow. The fiber has been around for quite a while now. I don't think even in the Greater Banjul area there are still areas that don't have fiber service.
At the moment, I've seen quite a lot of fiber at our area where I live, Salaji. Now they begin using the Nawek poles, to kind of, supply fiber to people's premises, because my school, I got fiber optic connection.
Poles, exactly. Not just the Gamtel poles usually.
Exactly, yes. Okay. They are now using Nawek poles in Salaji. I've seen them. I think they have an agreement with Nawek, I think we'll get there. We'll get there, Peter. And I think, what actually happened before, there was cable across the length and breadth of this country. I remember when I was going to school, I've seen Gamtel digging holes, you have telephone lines.
Yes.
I think the reason is those people, they did well. Peter, when I went to the United Kingdom, that infrastructure is exactly the same as that of British Telecom. I worked for British Telecom for 3 good years,
There was a time when Gamtel were only number 2 in Africa.
Exactly.
South Africa only had a better infrastructure.
I think that's the reason we didn't have broadband is because most of those cables are now, I think they're dismantled and stuff like that. Otherwise, we would have got broadband, at people's premises. Because in the UK, you don't have to have one cable for internet. They brought you
everything
a cable, and it will have a filter. The one is voice, the one is data. So you can have, what's the name again? Both data and voice, traveling on one wire. They call it time division multiplexing. I don't want to discuss that here because that will take us another 30 minutes.
A lot of people will say, oh, now he's showing off.
Exactly.
Finally.
Yes.
Absolutely finally.
Yes.
So what do you advise the president on cybersecurity? What kind of conversations do you have? And what does the president understand about cybersecurity?
I cannot tell you what I discussed with the president on cybersecurity, but I can tell you that the president is a very keen learner and a very fast learner. I can tell you that, Peter.
That's all you'll tell me?
Yes.
The rest you'll say for another time.
Exactly.
Sulayman, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much.
Sulayman, he's part of the communication team of NPP. He's also the president's advisor on cyber security. It's Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, brought to you in association with our usual partner.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axel James Wave.
Yo, Ablaye, yow lu tax doo dee dégg lu tax mënuloo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello? Kan lay waxal?
Bësal mu fay.
What?
Bësal mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills, and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave, Bësal mu fine. Wave, your money is yours.